Can you hear me now? All right, so good afternoon once again.
Yes, I can hear.
Good afternoon to you, Vanessa, once again. On your lecture for today, we intend to digest our lectures for today, and we're looking to discuss about the assignment discussion for the whole units that we've tackled, units 1 to 4. Recap of yesterday's lectures. We understood the importance of effective communication within the multidisciplinary team, and very important things that we took notice of were that the team does not only deal with just a narrow part of the duties of the members of a team. However, it goes out beyond issues such as logistics and other financial planning and all that. And we also understood that they are not indispensable on their own. The teams are in there to perform certain functions, and therefore they are stakeholders that have interest in what we do. I set examples that a country could decide to set up a committee to look into the outbreak of cholera or the outbreak of COVID-19 or the outbreak of HIV/AIDS. And the stakeholder will be the nation, or it could be the Ministry of Health that have set up certain individual with certain expertise and bring them together to form an MDT. So in this case, the MDTs are not entirely on their own, but they are formed for the purposes to identify or to bring about probably a research methodology or a research work to see the outcomes and not. So we established that they are stakeholders who have interest in what they do, and they need to be advising, or they need to be having an effective communication, not within the team, but also with the stakeholders, to ensure that whatever they need along the line, the funds, the finances, the planning, the logistics are readily made available for them, Vanessa. Okay, so do you also remember anything at all, Vanessa? What did you learn?
I
Vanessa,
learned that in order for multidisciplinary teams to be effective, good communication skills are highly needed, and teamwork is a great deal when it comes to MDTs generally.
that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. So it is a very important component in healthcare. Here in the UK, should there be a safeguarding concern, probably in a school?
Hello.
Hello, Placidia. We can hear
Yeah,
you.
good afternoon. So
Afternoon.
sorry I'm late.
That's fine. We just started. So here in the UK, should there be a safeguarding concern? For instance, if a report is being made in your child's school, maybe allegation of rape, or allegation of molesting, those things will be investigated. However, because it's a high-level safeguarding concern, what they normally do is to set up a committee, or what we call the MDT, multidisciplinary. Once they have identified that what has been reported has a truth, or there's evidence that there's a truth in it, quickly they would form the MDT. So it may be one of the school reps, safeguarding rep, it may be one from the council, there will be a social worker. It might even be a rep from the police and a rep from the rape department, or those who handle those things. So those are what we call the multidisciplinary team. And all they do, they are not stagnant a team. They are only formed to solve an issue and a problem, and that is all. And after that, they are dissolved. So they aren't a permanent groups or a permanent committee that is formed to stay forever. They are only formed, you bring expertise together to solve a certain issue, and that is done, and that is it. So these are the things that we need to pay attention to when it comes to the MDTs. Okay. Now we'll straight away move to the nitty-gritty of today's lectures. Now, it is important that we understand what is required to complete the assignments that comes with the multidisciplinary team and what we've learned from 1 to 4. So it says that you must ensure that you cover the assessment criteria for the unit over the 2 assignments as indicated. The assignment criteria is also the learning criteria. So when you go to learning outcomes, it tells you what you as a learner expected from you, and it gives you what you need to meet in units per unit per unit. So these are the things we expect from you. So the first assignment 1 was that you should carry out the task in the context of a specific job role within a health or social care services organization. This may be your own job role in your own organization or one to which you aspire. You would need to access to some specific information about which professionals make up the multidisciplinary team in your chosen role and organization. Examples may be a lead social worker role and health services role involving liaising with other services. I clearly gave an example just now that social workers, they are there to sort of ensure that the citizenry or anything that relates to social workers, the children, our social care needs and all that, they are there, but they don't work alone. So that's not just last month. I'm into properties. Apart from a lecturer, I do properties as well. And we rented a house for a lady with 3 children. She has a very young child, less than 1 year, and she has 2 younger children. And the husband had left her in UK and he's gone to Ghana, Africa. And the lady could not fend for herself, and she could not pay rent, and she could not even buy a gas to warm the property. And so it then becomes a social issue, isn't it?
Yeah.
Exactly. So even though it's a personal life, but in the UK, this becomes a social issue. Why? Because children are involved. So once children are involved, it becomes an issue because the children's life is at stake, and the government, who is the stakeholder, has a stake in it. Are we getting it? The government, which is the UK government, for that matter, the council that seek to ensure that every child is safe and the needs of children are met, has a stake in it. So the council becomes a stakeholder, which is representing the government. And so the council owes citizenry a responsibility to provide housing for parents and their children. So in such situation, when the mother could not pay rent and also could not fend for the children, there's 2 sides of it. It has the legal implications, which a landlord can decide to evict the parent and the children, but also another side of it, which is social. Social because should the parents or should the mother and the children become homeless, the government, who is the stakeholder, has a duty, legal duty, to rehouse them as soon as possible. Are we getting it? The government, which is a stakeholder, cannot allow them to sleep outside. So they will need to rehouse them no matter the situation. And because they could not warm the place, they have a duty of care to make sure that the children go to school, so they have to step in, the children have to go to school. So what they did was that immediately it was reported, the social services, what we call in the UK, the early child practitioners, they are the ones that take charge, they are in charge of the children. The early child practitioner immediately contracted them and said, look, that's the situation, they have to step in as soon as possible, start to provide food, liaise with organizations to start providing food for the children and all that. Try to see, is contact the council, to the council department. The council department called us. what we call the housing solutions. They call that, they step in. So the social worker as a person have to liaise with the council, have to liaise with different departments to ensure that the problem that confronts the family is sorted. Are we there? And this is what we call the multidisciplinary team. There was a problem, but the social worker as a person cannot deal with the problem. She needed to liaise with the council and liaise with the police and liaise with all the relevant organizations to ensure that the safeguarding concerns of the mother and the children are met. Okay. So task 1. You have been asked by senior management to produce a document detailing the skills and techniques required for effective multidisciplinary working. This will help to inform recruitment and training within the organization. You should research and analyze the skills and techniques required. A, to build and maintain cross-disciplinary working relationships. B, to build, motivate, and lead multidisciplinary teams. Now, the task then is write up a research in the format of a detailed person specification for a multidisciplinary team leader role. You can look on the web or within your organization for a template for a person specification, or a tutor could also provide one. Attach a bibliography of your research sources. This task covers an assessment 1.2, 2.2. Okay. Do we have any question? Any question at all? Hello? Vanessa? Hello? Vanessa?
Hello.
Yeah, do you have any
Yes.
question, please? Do you have any question, please?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really.
All right, that's fine. Let's go to task 2. Okay. So though the first task covers learning outcome 1.2 and then 2.2. All right. Let's proceed on to task 2. In task 2, we expect that the learner should be able to explain more to do with effectiveness in discipline in delivery of integrated services. So the task is, you are being asked by senior management to provide a report about multidisciplinary team working, which looks at key roles involved in multidisciplinary working and their effectiveness in delivery of integrated services. Research the roles and responsibilities of key professionals from other disciplines that are relevant to chosen job and the multidisciplinary teams are used. Write a report for a management that A, an analysis that the roles and responsibilities of these key professionals, analyze them. Okay. 2, evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of multidisciplinary teams in the delivery of an integrated services. And then 3, explain how to lead multidisciplinary teams effectively for integrated service delivery. Now, Vanessa, B, anytime you hear the word strength and weaknesses, what comes to mind, please? What tool do we use management in assessing strength and weaknesses of working personnel and professionals? What do we use? What tool do we use?
I beg your pardon. You said what tool do we use?
Yes. What management tool do we use?
I beg your pardon.
What methodology do we use in assessing the strengths and weaknesses of people or organization? What methodology or what management tool do we use? Or what analysis? What analysis? Does anything come in mind?
I think what comes to my mind generally when we talk about strengths and weaknesses, I think the problems that the MDTs are having in terms of delivering a service, generally working together, and then the strengths are, I think these are the advantages, especially towards the patient
Yeah,
first,
I do
then also to the.
I do understand, but what name could you mention one analysis tool that we use in management in healthcare that we use to assess or evaluate strengths and weaknesses in an organization? We don't.
Could
So
appraisal be could an appraisal be one of them?
appraiser, yes, appraiser is a good point to raise. Appraiser is one of it. You could use appraiser at the end of the year or quarterly to look at various strengths and weaknesses of staffs or members in the group, so to ensure what needs improving. But there's one particular important analysis tool that we use, and health and social care, you should know, level 4, level 5, you should know this too. It cuts across not only health and social care, but have you heard of what we call the SWOT analysis?
Oh yeah, yes. It had kept my mind. Yes, the SWOT analysis. How come it was take place during the presentation?
Okay, so the SWOT analysis, that should come to mind first, okay, when it comes to strengths and weaknesses.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
so yes, so it clearly will tell the SWOT analysis. You clearly will know the strengths of your members if you're a team leader. You will know the weaknesses. You also know the opportunities that may be available that you would then need to assign them. And then you also know the threats. Okay, what may be the
Yes.
threats? Is it anxiety? Is it lack of cultural problems? Is it that somebody feels he has no command of the English language, and because of that, they are not able to perform very well? Is it the accent that is a problem between two members, that one speaks very fluent, one could not speak very well, and therefore would not? Is it jargons that are being used that does not? So these are the things. So once you identify your strengths and weaknesses, you also have to look at the opportunities around and then the threats that you need to do it. So those are aspects that you should clearly talk about SWOT analysis, and these are things we've discussed in level 3, level 4. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Now I've been off a minute and I had a question. Unfortunately, I lost contact. So what I wanted to
Okay.
ask was, the first part you were talking about before I just went off, that said, can you just take your screen up to the
Okay.
before the tax one, just before the first thing there. Up, 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 up. Yes, this part.
Okay.
Yeah, you should carry out just
The task.
are you supposed to like describe a job role that is
Yes. So you said,
so before you start the first question, which is building and
yeah,
maintaining, you need to describe that first.
yes. You have to choose a
Oh,
specific role within, whether your job role or any of the guys. Yes, you need to. You should say
oh,
it may be your own job role or one that you aspire. Okay.
okay. So you describe just a job role or a scenario
Correct.
where there are multiple different job roles.
Correct. So
Okay, you describe a scenario.
it's a job role, either your current job role
Mm.
or a job role that you aspire. So it may be that you aspire to be a social worker. Okay.
Okay, so because what I understood before was describing my job role. So I just described just my job role, but I did not relate it to being in a multidisciplinary
You
team.
need to because
So
the
I
whole
need to
thing.
describe my
Exactly.
job role and how it
Thank
helps in
you.
a multidisciplinary team.
So
Now,
I would expect that in your job role, because you don't work in isolation, do you?
No.
You don't work in isolation. Exactly. So what
Okay.
they expect you is that in as much as you are defining your job role, a carer, senior carer, or whatever position that you are, you must make sure that you have in mind that your question is based on multidisciplinary. So you need to set scenarios where you have worked with people, maybe the social worker and all that, to perform a certain role. Okay.
Mm.
Do you understand me? Or
Yes.
you can choose any scenario. Maybe you want to become a nurse in future, or you want to become a social worker, or even
No,
a
I
doctor.
understand it now. Before, my understanding was just describing my job role and what
No,
my duties are.
not at all.
So now I need to add the one or two scenarios to that.
Thank you. Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you. So your job role in tangent with you working with others to solve a particular role. You understand me? So
Okay.
exactly. So I mean, so many examples that you can give.
I know.
Practically, so many. Where
Even this one.
come again.
I said I know. Thank you.
Okay. So you will need to access to specific information about which professionals make up the multidisciplinary team in your church. Have you seen that?
In the scenario, yeah.
Yes. So so you can even mention the people that you coordinated with. Okay, the professional.
Yeah.
It could be a nurse here that make up your multi. So your job role should be identified. Then you should be able to explain those that make up your team that you work together to achieve or to solve those problems. Okay, so you should make out your nurse. If there's a nurse, a social worker was part of your team. It could be your colleague social workers as well. It could be your team manager. It could be your clinical lead. It could be and register manager and all. So these are the things that we want to see them mentioned in your choosing scenario. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
sir.
Vanessa, you were saying something, Vanessa, please.
Yeah, I was asking, same to this question.
Okay.
For example, if we are talking about our job roles, can I be like, oh, I'm just giving a short example. Yeah? If I start like saying, as a care home manager, that a care home manager is, I believe, is a social worker, right?
A care home manager is not a social worker, but they play a major role within the care. So you are not a social worker, but your job involves with working so many people in a team.
So meaning I can't use my job role as a care home manager while attempting the.
You can.
I can.
Yes.
Okay, so for example, if I start as a care home manager, these are the following skills and techniques that I do on a daily basis to keep and maintain the different to keep and maintain relationships between the different professionals.
Okay.
Then
So
I list them, like I list one by one while explaining them. How about that?
okay, Vanessa, we are not the question is not keen to know the skills that you have as a manager. The question is concerned about your job role in solving issue with other team players. Okay. So for instance,
Yes, that's
as
what
a
I'm saying.
yeah,
My job role is a care home manager.
yes.
If
So
my job role is a care home manager, can't I use that to explain the different skills and techniques? For example, as a care home manager, these are the things that I do on a daily basis. Then I actually go back to the skills and techniques required as a question.
um
For
so
example, conflict management,
so
relationship building, communication
yeah,
skills.
Vanessa, we are the question, we're not too concerned about the qualities or of the manager. Listen to the question is concerned about, first of all, identifying your job role in your organization or one that you aspire to become. And then we need to know what makes up the team. So you say, look at you need to access to some specific information about which professional make up your team. So I would expect that if you're a care home manager, obviously you are the lead person within the organization, but you also have deputies, don't you?
Okay,
Yes.
so for example, would say scenario 1, as a care home manager, when there is safeguarding, these are the people that make up the team.
Thank
1,
you.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Thank you. Thank you.
And my role as the manager is to do this and do this and do this and do that.
Thank you.
Scenario 2, as a care home manager, when there is something, Shebi?
Yes.
Aha, all right.
Vanessa, are you getting it?
Yes,
Vanessa.
I think I've gotten it.
Thank you. So
yes, I think I've gotten it.
Key things that we're looking in here is not just about the characteristics of a care manager, but we want to at least see your job role clearly defined, and then 2, like Placidia said, what is the issue? What issue has happened? What is the reason why you're forming a team? You get the point. So
Yes.
what is the reason? So the problem may be a safeguarding issue. What may probably there's allegation within the care home of a patient complained that somebody has touched some part of the body. You understand? Which is a safeguarding issue, and that's the reason why you have to form a team. Are you getting it? Are we there?
Yeah.
And that's the reason why you, as a care manager, you are forming a multidisciplinary team. But we also need to, we have interest to know which people make up the team. You understand? So a team consists of 5 people: deputy care manager, clinical lead, safeguarding officer, blah, 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 blah. Are you getting it? Hello?
Yeah.
Are we there?
Yes, we are.
Exactly. And you can go further and even explain
What?
Vanessa, can you hear me? Okay. And then you can go further to even clearly define what task was given to each person within the team. Okay. You could even explain what task was given to each person within the team. All right. All right. And then having said about what makes up the team, you could even mention other services that you have to liaise with them beyond the team or outside the team. Okay. Okay. So let me go back. Where were we? Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So Placidia, we're going back to where we were before. Okay.
I know, but I lost the network, so I didn't hear the old tax one.
The part 1.
Yeah.
Which is that what I was saying now?
Yeah, when you were the A and B, I was just like I didn't have network, so you can just rush through it.
Okay. So let me go back. So we have so task 1, you have been asked by senior management to produce a document detailing the skills and techniques required for effective multidisciplinary working. This will help you to inform recruitment and training within the organization. You should research and analyze the skills and techniques required. A, to build.
Hello.
Yeah, hello, Vanessa.
Sorry, I had gone off. I was still trying to explain something, but I got network issues.
Okay, so let me finish this up then. Is it in task 1? Is it the first one?
No, you can finish because what I even want to talk about. Okay, let me just ask it right now. For example, what Placidia said and what you said for the previous task, how we can, for example, say safeguarding, what. I feel like that explanation would come in more, like that approach should be used more for this question that we are going to look at, the skills and techniques required to build and maintain, to build, motivate, and lead multidisciplinary teams according to how I see the questions and understand everything. For example, here, we can talk about, for example, in my case, I can talk about our catering manager in our care home, for example, has to have the following skills. Then our domestic team manager, our visiting nurses. I feel like it falls and the skills needed to build, motivate, and lead multidisciplinary teams. Then I feel like talking about our job role may necessarily be needed in the first part of how to build and maintain cross-disciplinary working relationships.
So if I okay,
For the role of a care home manager. That's how I'm understanding it.
okay. So Vanessa, are you referring to the first task or the second one?
What are we looking? Aren't you on the first task?
Yes, but we moved on to see task one. Is it this one or the very first one? Which one? Is it the one, this one?
Yeah, I thought all of them is the same thing.
Yes, yeah, but Placera, you see, okay, just hold on. Let's go. Let's okay. So you are on this. Are we on this, isn't it? You should research and analyze the skills and techniques required. Okay. To build and maintain cross-disciplinary working relationships, to build and motivate and lead multidisciplinary teams. Write a research in the format of a detailed personal certification for a multidisciplinary team leader. So if you realize, look at that. Okay. The first task, before task one, you should carry out the task in the context of a specific role within the health institution. This may be your own job role, organization, or to expert. You need to access to some specific information about which professionals make up the multidisciplinary team in your chosen area. That's it. Vanessa, have you read this side?
Yes, please.
Examples may lead to, okay, so this is the context, okay? Then task one, it says, you have been asked by senior management to produce a document detailing the skills and techniques required for effective multidisciplinary working. So you see, this is different. You say the skills, as that you were talking about the skills in the first one, but this is the skills. You say the skills and techniques required for effective multidisciplinary working. This will help to inform recruitment. So now, this question now is more geared to the skills and not the first one. I don't know if you're getting me.
Oh, so this one is a little bit different from the first one.
Okay. If you go to your model, you will see. Okay. So this will help you to inform recruitment training. You should then.
So we have to text.
Come again. You should research. I'm here, Vanessa. I said, are you here?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Just listening to Vanessa.
Okay.
Yes.
You should research and analyze. Vanessa, have you had a chance to go through model on this assignments? Have you had a chance at all?
I can, so you're kind of breaking. I'm struggling to hear you.
I'm saying, have you had a chance at all to go through the assignments on model?
Yes, I have. It's 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks now.
So I said, have you done a chance yourself? Have you started?
I've actually finished. I'm making adjustments now as you're making corrections. That's why I knew I'd made a big mistake on the first introduction.
Thank you. Placida, what would you say to Vanessa? I mean, I think it's a bit. What would you say? I mean, with what you have started, what would you say, please?
In terms to our question saying
yes.
Okay, so the thing is that first part that says you have been asked to no, it's not this one, it's the one above it.
The one above
isn't
it?
it?
Yes.
Yeah. So we're asked that, okay, the job you're doing, for example, something has happened and you need to form a multidisciplinary team. So you need to say what has happened. You need to say the kind of people that, okay, let's say you have, like you gave an example, you said there's an abuse. So the kind of professionals you would put in a team for an abuse is different from maybe a medical complication, or someone that just has social challenges, or someone that needs to be moved from nursing home to a mental health home. Maybe the health has depreciated and it now needs to move to mental health instead of
And that's
staying in a nursing home. So the multidisciplinary team, they will be different. So we will give the scenario that, okay, there's been an abuse. These are the kind of people that needs to be involved in investigating the abuse, which is council police, social worker, maybe a nurse to check the wounds to see whether it's a fresh wound or it's been there. So, that's the people that are involved in that. But when you have someone that someone that is mentally challenged, you need a psychiatrist, you need the GP, that's a different thing entirely. But as a non-manager, in both scenarios, you are involved. So what's your role? Are you the one doing the meeting? Are you the one notifying the council? Are you the one, So that's what I feel you're asking us to do.
Thank you. So in that regard, Vanessa, that becomes your introduction, okay? Before your task one.
Oh, okay. So we are literally using that as an introduction.
Exactly. That
Yeah.
because they want to see evidence. What the assessor would want to see, they want to know that at least you know at what point do you have to form an MDT. You understand? They want to assess that you have the knowledge before they even have to go to the skills that you need. You get my point?
Okay, yes, now I've understood it better, much better.
Exactly. So that's your
Thank
first.
you,
So it's like your introduction.
Thank you, darling.
You have a form a team, you're a care manager, you are this, you form a team. Before then, they will need to know the skills and techniques that is required within those teams. Okay?
Yes, please.
Exactly. So you start your assignment with the first assignment. The contest is what we need you to do from find a rule.
Yeah, I think why it's confusing is because we don't usually do anything in the contest before.
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't really do anything in that context. That's why I was really confused.
Yes, you should because the contest then becomes the pre-introduction before your task one. Okay. And if you watch, for those of you who have done a degree or a master's, you realize that we always need a contest. Okay. You have to introduce something before you can break it down. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is a part of the criteria. It helps in getting when I'm marking. Imagine I'm marking your assignment. Introduction is we give you marks for that. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
Are you aware, Vanessa?
Yes.
Yes, we give you marks for that. Introduction is so when I'm marking, normally I'll leave a comment and said the learner has proven that he has in-depth understanding of the subject matter and he has given a clear introduction and blah blah blah, and we'll give you a mark for that. This is what will make you have a distinction over somebody having a pass. Are you getting it?
Oh, sorry to go off topic. For level 4, are we graded according to pass, merit, distinction, or it is a pass or fail? Because most of my assignments.
Level 4 is pass. Level 4 is pass.
4 is pass.
Yes.
What about 5? I'm just anxious to know.
5 we have distinctions and so on. But I'm only saying that these are the reasons why somebody will have a distinction and somebody may have a normal pass. Okay.
Okay.
Because the other may would have had introduction and other things and have answered exactly what we expect. Others may just do task 1 and go straight to the point. But if you look at it, it's telling you that there's a contest. And the contest, you have to have a preceding introduction to the real topic. So you have a care manager, blah, blah, blah. Then you go further that in this team, in task 1, then you address in the team that you have already formed in the contest. These are the skills that they need, and next we need to have this skill, blah, 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 all these things. And that precedes the second. That shows that. So I think Placida was trying to ask a question. So you should research and analyze the skills and techniques required in that team. He's talking about the team, the same team, okay? To build and maintain cross-disciplinary working relationships, to build, motivate, and lead multidisciplinary teams, okay? You have been asked by the senior management to produce a document detailing the skills and techniques required for effective multidisciplinary working team. Okay, any question at all? Write up your research in the format of a detailed person specification, okay? For a multidisciplinary team leader role. Are we there? In other words, leader role, also still the care manager or still the team leader. You can look on the web or within your organization for a template for a person specification, or your tutor could also help. Attach a bibliography of your research sources, okay? Are we there? Are we there?
Yes.
Then tells you that this task cover assessment criteria 1.2, 1.2.2. So the reason why you have to do that introduction, because it must cover what you learned in 1.1 and 1.2. Even though it shows only task 1, but you realize that introduction part is very important as well, because that should cover 1.1, and then the second one covers 2.2. Okay, so let's move it task 2. You are behind time. You have been asked by senior management to provide a report on multidisciplinary team working, which looks at key roles involved in multidisciplinary working and their effectiveness in delivery of integrated services. Reset the roles and responsibilities of key professionals from other disciplines that are relevant to your chosen job role and how multidisciplinary teams are used. Write a report for management staff. In fact, I mentioned SWOT analysis, Vanessa, in our in the first one, I think the previous question. But there's another analysis tool that you can use to check. These are internal analysis, but there's also external you could use for external analysis. How many of you would know what analysis tool we normally use in checking external issues?
Feedback now.
Yeah, well, feedback is one, but I'm looking at more of not internal, but so we have SWOT analysis is more to do with internal, trying to check the strengths and weaknesses within your internal organization. But we also have that we use to check external. We call it PESTEL. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Do you remember?
No. No.
Yeah.
Vanessa, I remember, do you?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Placida, you can read about it. PESTEL.
I
P-S-L.
forgot.
Okay. It's a management tool. If you're a team senior carer or you're a manager, you need to know this. It's called PESTEL. Okay. PESTEL. Vanessa, do you remember the
should
full
we
name?
also should we also apply it as
Yes. So read about it and apply them. Okay.
in our tasks?
Yes, in your checking your strength analysis and read about it, it will help you to guide you in answer some of the questions. Okay. All right. Are we there?
Yes.
So PESTEL is an acronym.
Yeah.
P-S-T. You've got it right.
Yeah.
What does
I remember.
What does it say?
It says prepare like analysis. I don't know. What would you see now?
Okay, so you should know. I said there is in our previous lectures, maybe for level 4, I should have mentioned some of these things.
Political, economic, social, technical, legal environment. factors.
Yeah.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Yes. So I would like to ask, so is it a must for us to apply it in this task, or it is optional?
Yeah, it is, but yes, it would help. Yes, read about them and it may help you. Okay.
Yeah, it would help us, but I'm asking, is it among the criteria required while answering the task?
Yes, yes. In checking, yeah. So you can talk about
This task.
now. If you look at the first question, it talks about um collaboration as multiple, and then also liaising with other services. Okay, external. So in as a care manager, hello,
Yes, we can hear you.
as a care manager, you don't only deal with your internal, you deal with external organization, don't you?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So all I'm saying is that read about pestle and then pick what is important from there if to help you in your yeah. So you have SWOT analysis or pestle. Look at them and look at what will be the most effective to use in your answers. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. But I'm still trying to figure out how to use it here. How I would use it in task if I'm to connect.
Not now. When you settle down and you read, you look at if it's not relevant, look at what you can pick from pestle in your answer, but if not, okay.
Oh, so we can use, is it possible for us to use both types of analysis in the same question? Both SWOT and
Mhm.
hello, can you hear me?
Vanessa, we are behind time, so I can't. The line keeps breaking. I've only given you another two. It's not mandatory, but I've given you tools that we used in checking strengths and weaknesses, both internal and externally. Okay,
Okay.
so it's not compulsory. Look at the question, look at what is needed, and see if pestle will be and help in any of it. But pestle, we use them in checking external. SWOT analysis, we use them in checking internal. Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay. Let's proceed.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's proceed. Assignment 2, the contest. Before you go to task 1, you should carry out the task in the context of the same specific job role within the health and social care services organization you use for assignment 1. Okay. Say the same job role you mentioned in assignment 1 is what they expect you to stick by. The senior management want to improve multidisciplinary working within the organization. I've asked you to advise on 2 areas. A, barriers to multidisciplinary working and how they can be overcome. B, communication issues related to multidisciplinary team working. We spoke about barriers in communication and all that. This is all they expect you to talk about. They want to see if indeed you remember what you learned in communication barriers and all that and how you can be overcome. Okay, but it's telling you that stick to the defined job role you chose in your first contest 1. Okay, so now the task. You are asked to compile a report covering the 2 areas as described in the task below. Task 1. Reset barriers to multidisciplinary working and provide information to senior managers on A, these barriers with analysis of why they occur. Okay. 2, an evaluation of the impact of the barriers on stakeholders and on service delivery. And then 3, an evaluation of the ways to monitor and overcome barriers to multidisciplinary team working. These are the 3 things but before that, they would have expected that you have identified the barriers that you feel your team is encountering. Okay. The
Yes.
barriers to the multidisciplinary working team. We know some of the barriers as we learned in the lectures and how they can be overcome. And then you have to look at the communication issues. But then the raw task then tells you that having identified that, you have to then analyze what are the causative root causes of the barriers, why they occur. Is it because of cultural differences? Is it because of jargons being used while you're having these barriers? Okay, within the group. And then the B, you would have to evaluate the impact of those barriers on stakeholders. Bear in mind, on stakeholders and on service delivery. On stakeholders, we explained that the stakeholders may be your director of nursing, or it could be the Ministry of Health, or it may be the government. Okay, and then the effect on service delivery. And then the last bit is that an evaluation of the ways to monitor and overcome those barriers to the multidisciplinary team working. Any question, please? Any question, please? Any question, please? Any person, please?
No, I think I'll just read it again and try and figure out everything.
Okay. So I'll go over again. The first bit, the context says, the first bit, we expect you to identify the general barriers that within the team that you said you are formed. Okay. In task 1. Are you there?
Yeah.
So what would be the general barriers in it? General barriers and how they come. And then the communication issues that you may be encountering. Bear in mind, we are referring to task 1, the team that is okay. So you say you're a care manager and you form the team of 5 and these are the other. So what may be the general barriers? And then the task itself then tells you that you therefore have to analyze what may be the root cause that brought about those barriers. Okay. Okay. What may be the root cause that brought? So it may be that there may be issues about cultural differences, or there may be issues about one person use of jargons that may bring about the barriers, or it may be issues about, somebody feel superior, or, so those are the things that we're talking about. And then you have to have an in-depth evaluation of the impact of those barriers that you've identified on stakeholders, not on the MDTs, okay, but on the stakeholders. On the stakeholders. So it may be you're a care manager, but you may have a superior beyond you. Maybe the director of care, okay, or it may be the company owner or the care home, the owner of the care home. The stakeholders could also be the parents of the patient. You know that the family members of the patients that probably they are stakeholders. They have a stake in the health, the well-being of the patients. You understand me? Right. So you have to look, and on service delivery, and the last bit is that you have to look into the ways to monitor and overcome those barriers to the multi-disciplinary. So these are the for task 3, 3.1, 3.2, 3.3. So if you go back and read about 3.3, this is the whole question is surrounded around those assessment criteria. Okay.
Yeah.
Vanessa, are you there?
Yes, I am, but I think I just need to go back and read because the whole thing is.
Vanessa, say it again. Be loud a bit. Say it again.
Yeah, I'm here, but I think I just need to go back and read.
Yeah, you need to read. I think you didn't join the last lecture, didn't you? The last batch 1, you didn't join. So
I did.
The barriers in communication. I've only had one lecture. Okay, really? Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. We
That's
said some barriers like jargon, information overload.
Yeah.
Those are barriers also.
Yeah.
Those are weaknesses.
Yeah. So if you go back and read, you get better understanding answering this question. But bear in mind, the questions are not isolated on their own, they are intertwined. So whatever you have said in task 1, they want it to be interconnected. You know what I mean? Okay.
Yes, I get you.
Interconnected. That's what they want to see. Yeah. Okay. So the final bit is 4. In 4, they said research communication issues related to multidisciplinary teams and provide information to senior management on A, the practical communication issues, including analysis of this. B, ways of communicating effectively in multidisciplinary teams. C, how to promote equal opportunities in service delivery by multidisciplinary teams. And then D, how to engage stakeholders with multidisciplinary teams. Do we understand this bit as well, Placidia?
Yeah.
Yes, if you go back to your lectures, you understand better. These are all in your lecture notes. You just have to make it more practical. That's all. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You have to own it. That's all they want to see. They want you to own it rather than speculating. Okay. So own it relative to the job role you are doing, relative to where you are. It should be more practical rather than just giving the answers. No. They want to see you care manager in the care manager role. I work with this team, I work with this team, and these are the problems that impede barriers when I was working in the team or when own it. These are the problems. There were barriers that we encountered among us. We had somebody we could not hear well, had a dead problem or could not hear well, and that becomes a cultural problem. We had the one person amongst us. So they want to see interconnection. Okay. Right. In 4,
Yes.
research communication issued. So they were more centered towards research communication. And that, if you read 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, you get your answers. That's what it means. You get your answers. But it is more practical communication issues, including analysis of these ones. The ways of communication effectively in multidisciplinary teams. What are the ways of communication? There are different ways of communication within the team. And then see how to promote equal opportunity. We spoke about equality, I think, yesterday, and the Equality Act 2010. We spoke about that. We also spoke about Equality Act 2014, the revised ones. So they want to see more about it. Why is it important that there should be equality among the working teams? Why is it that there should be diversity among the working teams? Because it's equally important for different cultural environment. You may have somebody who is gay in the team, and because of that, it may impede communication because somebody is gay, somebody is a strong Christian, he feels uncomfortable and he doesn't want to talk to the other person who is a gay. Okay. So if you don't talk, how can there be effective communication within the team? So these are things that they want you to be more practical in answering them. And the last bit, how to engage stakeholders with the multidisciplinary team. I've said that the stakeholders are not necessarily not the team workers, but those beyond the employers. They are the stakeholders. Those who have tasked you to do what you are doing, they are the stakeholders and not the team members. Okay. Right. So in every assignment, it tells you to attach a bibliography of the research sources. And so this task covers 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, 4.4. Okay. So this is how we're going to head today's assignment discussion. Any general question, please? So if you go down, I'm going to go the guidelines for assessors. This is for us, but at least for you to understand how we assess you guys, look at some of the things. So task 1, 1.2, 1.3. Suggested evidence. Okay, it says a detailed person specification that identify the skills and techniques that an individual in the role of a team leader. So it should be involved in a multidisciplinary team would need to build. The skills and the techniques also needed to maintain a multidisciplinary relationships. Build and we've spoken about this. And look at the second one. The report should provide a detailed picture of multidisciplinary teams within an organization and key professionals likely to be involved in these things. Key professionals, they want you to mention them. It is important that learners evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of teams and explain how to lead the teams effectively. Are we there?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is more detailed. And this is for assessors, those of us who assess your assignments. Okay, this is for us, how we assess you. You want to see a bit of introduction, or you want to see that you have in-depth knowledge in what you have done, a bit of introduction as a care manager, blah, blah. You want to see these few things in there, and that helps you. Okay, and then assessment 2. It says a detailed report that analyzes barriers to multidisciplinary working and how they occur. Learners should make recommendations, very important, as to how barriers can be monitored and overcome in order to improve multidisciplinary team working. So there should be some recommendations. This is what we expect from you. And then the last bit is that. Come again.
For example, kindly give us examples of the recommendation. Like if it were you answering, how would you go about that?
Oh, so the recommendation is the same as the how to overcome. You remember that question?
Yes,
I said yeah before. Yes. So the recommendation is the same as. So it says learners should make recommendations as to how barriers can be monitored and overcome. You understand?
Yeah.
Vanessa, do you understand? Vanessa?
Yes, I do.
So the recommendation is relative to the monitoring and how to overcome, okay?
Yes.
All right. Okay. And then the last bit is the 4.1, 4.2. Say learners need to write an advisory report on how communications between team members and with stakeholders can be improved. So there you clearly see the difference between the team members are not stakeholders. Do you understand?
Yes.
The team members are not stakeholders. You can see the clear difference. But it tells you how communication between the team members can be improved. Because probably there's not a clear communication between the team members or between the team leader and the stakeholders, which may be your employer, or maybe your director of nursing, or maybe the government appointee that you need to brief the Minister of Information or the Minister of Health and all that. That's what it means. They may be the stakeholders. Okay, it may be the company owner or the investor who has invested monies or putting people together to do a research committee to look at what has been the cause of HIV/AIDS or the cause of cholera and that. Okay, this should include a detailed analysis of communication issues and include recommendations about effective communication. Another recommendation: effective communication and promoting equal opportunities and engaging stakeholders. The word is engaging stakeholders. So most times you may have an appointed stakeholder to represent maybe the business owner or to represent government. And that person, they should be a regular engaging in your scheduling of meetings. You need to schedule meetings to brief him or brief her every now and then what has been achieved, what is about to be done, and the future, what you guys seek to do as a community or as a group. Okay? Any further question?
No.
Okay, Basedia, any question at all?
No.
Then
I understand it now.
Okay. Any issues at all? As usual, send me a message on the group or email or wherever, and I'll respond. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right. I wish you the best of weekend. Vanessa, I've not forgotten about your request. I'll ask my back office to respond to you on that today. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You are welcome. Have the best weekend. Take care, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Take care.
Bye.